What's up, guys? It's HarleyWood. Welcome back. All right, we're going to take a look today at the new OSIGHT X and the OSIGHT S. Now, before we get started, these are unloaded. Okay, so for all you safety police out there and for my YouTube moderators. Now, the original OSIGHT I was quite critical of. In fact, I did not want to publish a full review of it because I felt like it needed more work. And the biggest point of contention that I had with it is most people who use red dots, not all, but most people, also have suppressor height sights, regardless if you're running a suppressor or not, okay? But most people, to get that iron sight backup up high enough to see through the viewport, will run taller sights. Well, the problem with the hood on the first model, let's make sure I get the old one here. Okay, you can see this is the old model charging hood here, is that unless you had about 3 millimeters of clearance between the back of the sight and the front of your rear iron post, the hood would not seat down, okay? So I posted that online and a lot of people said, well, just Dremel it and that would probably work. I don't know how close the actual battery or electrical components are underneath that, but you shouldn't have to Dremel it. But in all fairness, it didn't affect everyone, okay? Every gun's a little bit different. The optic cut may be a little bit further forward. Every single one of my RMR cut slides, this would not fit on it, okay? Because the RMR was cut as far back as reasonably possible to get it tucked up against that rear post. And so you couldn't fit this hood on there. Now, some people in the comments said, turn the hood around the other way and it will work. No, it doesn't. Somebody gave you bad information. Now, when we get to the S model, that is in fact true. But on this, neither the old one nor the new one can you turn them around backwards and get them to charge, right? It does not sit on there properly. But on the new Olight X, they released it with a new hood that does actually have enough clearance to fit with a tall iron sight on the rear. All right, now let's talk about the OSIGHT S. So I have run, this is my other slide, my actual carry slide. I have run a Holosun 507K for several months now. The profile of these two is very, very similar. I am actually quite impressed with the OSIGHT S, where the X looks like this huge freaking monstrosity on top of the RMR mount. I mean, it's wider than the slide, it's really tall, and I mean, it gives you a good viewport. It's a big viewport, but goodness gracious, that's a freaking huge optic. On the OSIGHT S, however, for the RMS-C footprint, it is enclosed, so it has glass on the back, it's enclosed on the front. This is a really nice design on this thing. It's very low profile. It still has plenty of viewport. Now, a lot of people on the original Gen 1 reported that it would not hold zero, okay? I did not have that problem in my testing. I did a couple hundred rounds. I'll post a link right up here on the screen if you want to go back and watch that video, but I beat the shit out of this thing and it held zero for me. Now I've got 250 rounds through this S and it also has held zero perfect for me. So time will tell. You may start seeing reports where it does not hold for some people, but in my testing, it's been fine. And it also has that proprietary charging hood. It is a different hood, obviously, not quite as big as the one for the X model. But that hood, if you're not familiar, when you first snap it on, it will light up and it will tell you what the battery level is of the optic. If this is not on the optic and you push this button on the side, it will tell you what the battery level is with the internal battery itself. So there you can see I push the button and this one's like 25%. And here you can see that hood for the S model will in fact fit on in both directions. Now, if that was intentional on OSIGHT's part, that was actually a really nice move. If it was accidental, don't tell anybody. Here's what I would really love to see. Gen 3 of the X, all right? So they're gonna call it the X cubed. I don't know if that's what they're gonna call it. But the third generation, if they did it at 80% of this size so that it was exactly the same width as the slide, a little bit smaller, maybe just a 20% smaller window on it, I think I could fall in love with it a little bit more than I do with this one. This one's just really, really big in my opinion. But again, that's just my opinion. Yours is yours, mine's mine. This one though, that's a really great optic, really, really good size. I mean, when I got it out of the box, I was like, whoa, this thing is actually really, really nice. All right, now the one thing that I cannot confirm, but I think is true, is that if you bought an OSIGHT, there's a 100% chance that you already have an Olight and you have a bunch of these charging caps, all right? So at first I tried one that says special on it, and it does clip on, it turns red, but it never turned green, and I left it on all night, okay? Now the oversight on my part was, I don't know what the battery level was of the unit before I put it on there. Then I put the standard one on there, and it turned green immediately. So did this one charge it and just never, like what I mean is this little piece right here is red when it's charging and turns green when it's charged. This one just immediately went green. Does that mean that this one charged it, and then when I plug this one in, this one tells you that it's actually charged? I don't know. So if you guys know the answer to that, sound off in the comments below, help me out and help out those who might be watching this video. And that's it, guys. So the new Olight X, good job on fixing it. I would love to see a Gen 3 that's about 80% this size. Fantastic job on the S. This thing is solid, especially for the price point. Man, this is a solid optic for an RMSC footprint. And that's it, guys. I appreciate your time watching. As always, if you like this video, if you like this kind of content, if you like giveaways, I do a ton of giveaways on this channel. There's a link in the description below to where you can buy these, all right? I do have a 10% off coupon code down below. And I also have a link to my newsletter where you can enter to be notified when giveaways go live. So make sure you jump in that newsletter. Appreciate your time watching. As always, lots more to come, and I'll see you on the next one.